We are approaching that time of year again. The trade deadline is this month. And then after that, you've got the pennant chase, and then the playoffs, and then free agency. So there's a lot of guys on this Yankees team who could be playing their final games in pinstripes. In this video, 10 Yankees who could be gone either at the trade deadline or in a few months when free agency begins. Let's begin with Alex Verdugo at number 10. He's a free agent after the season. This is a guy that Aaron Judge specifically asked the Yankees to bring in. He's had some good moments in the first half. He's gotten a number of big hits, but he's also cooled off significantly with the batting average, and he's had a couple of rough defensive moments, to say the least. The writing was always on the wall that if the Yankees were going to re-sign Juan Soto, they weren't going to have the money left to bring back guys like Alex Verdugo. They were going to probably fill up the outfield with a couple of the younger guys like Jason Dominguez and Spencer Jones, possibly Everson Pereira, but he had Tommy John surgery, so he probably won't be back at the beginning of next season anyway. However, it's unlikely that Alex Verdugo comes back, but his recent diminished play might lead the Yankees to move him at the trade deadline. I doubt it because they don't have anyone else to fill in at this point. They're really lacking with outfield depth, but it's something to consider. Number 9 is Yankees ace Gerrit Cole, who has an opt-out after this season. However, it comes with the caveat that the Yankees can negate his opt-out by adding an additional season on his contract at $36 million. Now, this might be kind of a tricky situation. If you had asked me before the season whether or not Gerrit Cole would opt out, I would say absolutely, because he can get another big contract. Coming off a Cy Young Award, there was no signs of any kind of decline. But this year he had the elbow injury. Now, he was pretty good in his most recent outing, but there's still a lot of time left for that elbow to be barking. So he might not opt out at all. And if he does, the Yankees, given the elbow issues and the thorough examination of his arm this year, might not be inclined to add another year of $36 million given their salary restraints if they're trying to sign Juan Soto. Again, a lot of this offseason kind of hinges on what they do with Juan Soto, who, spoiler alert, is coming up later on the list.
I thank everybody for making this night necessary.
Number 8 is a near certainty for me, and that is Anthony Rizzo. He's a free agent after the season. He does have a club option for $17 million, which the Yankees are not going to exercise. They've got a kid, Ben Rice, who's been absolutely tearing the cover off the ball since getting called up, hit 3 home runs in a game. And Anthony Rizzo has had a lot of injury problems with the Yankees. Last year he had the concussion. This year he fell and broke his hand. He's just been kind of a disappointment since the Yankees traded for him. Yes, he's had some big hits, but his defense has never really gotten going. And despite being a good clubhouse guy who gets along with Aaron Judge, I don't see what really value he brings to the team at this point. I would much rather have the kid playing first base. Number 7 is Tommy Kahnle. Old Tommy Tight Pants has been a little bit unreliable this year. He's a free agent after the season. He's going to be 35 years old. I can't see the Yankees bringing him back. His changeup is still pretty good, but the fastball's been getting hit. And honestly, I just don't feel very confident with him out there on the mound anymore. I think it's time to let old Tommy Tight Pants hit the road.
Manager for the Yankees, Joe Torres.
Number 6 is American League All-Star and closer for the Yankees, Clay Holmes, who's having kind of an up and down year. He's got some good overall numbers because he had a really nice stretch at the beginning of the season where he went unscored upon, but he's blown 6 saves, and without a little bit of luck, he could have blown 10 saves. I don't think he's a closer. I think he's a fine middle reliever, but he's going to be a free agent and he's going to command a contract of a closer because he's had some success and he was an all-star. But the Yankees won't give him that money. And I think that Clay Holmes will end up ultimately somewhere else. I think he's lost the fan base with the amount of blown saves that he's had. And I don't think Clay Holmes is coming back, although I do think he will survive the trade deadline, but I don't think he's going to be the closer after the trade deadline. Number 5 is Gleyber Torres, second baseman. He is a free agent after the season, and there's pretty much no way that the Yankees are going to re-sign him. But there is a non-zero chance that they could even trade him at the deadline, though I don't think that they're going to get much for him. Ever since 2020, when he was a little bit overweight during the COVID season, he had a down year. It seems like he's been struggling to get back to that promising player that he was when he first came up. after getting traded to the Yankees from the Cubs. He has power, but he tries to hit for too much power, which messes up his swing, caused the batting average to drop. And defensively, when he first came up as a second baseman, I thought he was really good. He moved to shortstop, he had some defensive issues, and now back at second base. Metrics say he's about league average, but I think he's regressed quite a bit. He was among the leaders in errors in the American League last I checked, so I think there's a good chance that Gleyber Torres could get traded, although you're not going to get much for him.
The luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Next on the list is Jose Trevino. Going out a little bit on the limb here because Jose Trevino is a Platinum Glove winning catcher. He's been a staple in the Yankees lineup for the last couple of years. Right now he's out with a quad injury. I do think that the Yankees have a lot of depth in the catching position that they could go to, and they might decide that it's a good idea to maximize Trevino's value while he still has it. He's had some issues throwing out runners. The Red Sox ran crazy on him a couple of weeks ago. But I think you could move him and get something of value in return because there is such a limited amount of good catchers, especially good defensive catchers, that are available out there. The Yankees have Agustin Ramirez in AAA. They have Austin Wells, who's been swinging the bat very, very well recently. And I think that Jose Trevino is expendable. If they don't move him at the deadline, which they probably won't, I could definitely see it happening in the offseason.
The most famous baseball player of all time, Babe Ruth.
Next up is DJ Lemahieu. DJ has had some great seasons with the Yankees. He won a batting title. He had that big home run against the Astros in the ALCS, but he's not that player anymore. He's still a good defender. He can pick it over there at third base. He can pick it at first base, but he is not the same kind of hitter. His OPS has fallen under 500. Now, he did miss all of spring training, and so did Aaron Judge, and it took him a while to get going. But DJ really seems to be struggling. He's hitting a ton of ground balls, and I'm just not sure that the Yankees can continue to carry him on the roster when you got some younger guys who might be on the come-up that could be better and more valuable. Now, he does make $15 million each of the next 2 years. That's not my problem. That's on Brian Cashman for handing out that contract for luxury tax reasons. They wanted less of a luxury tax hit, so they extended his contract out by a further couple of years and reduced the overall salary that he was being paid each year. Now, the last few years, the Yankees have released a number of guys who they're paying basically to not play anymore. This includes, Jacoby Ellsbury. This includes Aaron Hicks, Josh Donaldson. So it's not unprecedented that a guy will get released or DFA'd when he's still got some money remaining on his contract. Will that happen to DJ LeMahieu? I guess we'll find out soon, but I think it probably should. Number 2 is Juan Soto, who the Yankees picked up this offseason in the biggest trade of the winter. He is having an enormous year. He's already got 23 home runs at the All-Star break. He's among the tops in the league in almost every StatCast category. Again, he's just 25 years old, and he's going to get an enormous contract. Yankees will not move him at the deadline. This is not one of those guys, but he could be gone next season if the Yankees are not willing to ante up this winter, and I'm not sure that they will. He's going to go to the highest bidder. That's why he has the agent that he does, Scott Boras. And I have a feeling that the Mets are going to bid even more than the Yankees. He grew up watching the Mets. He loves hitting at Citi Field. Do not be surprised if this is Juan Soto's only year with the Yankees, which makes it that much more important to win.
If you don't like it, you're fired. You haven't hired me yet.
And number 1, Aaron Boone, Yankees manager. He's been the Yankees manager since 2018, and he's really not had a ton of success. He got swept in the postseason a couple of times. He has not been good. I think that this could be his final chance, especially with Alex Cora, a free agent, Red Sox manager, well thought of within the industry. And quite frankly, the last couple of years when the Yankees have gone into prolonged slumps, they've had a very difficult time getting out of it. Now, the Yankees won 2 out of 3 from Baltimore going into the break. Maybe that kind of put the lid on the month-long slump that they had leading up to the break. But if they come out of the gate and have another really bad second half, I could see Aaron Boone getting the boot. But if they turn it around and make a postseason run, maybe win the division, maybe go deep into the playoffs, maybe even win a World Series, I could see him coming back. But Aaron Boone is on the hot seat for sure. Hey everybody, we are on a mission for 50,000 subscribers on this channel by the end of the season. When we get there, we're going to give away some cool prizes. We're going to give away an official Yankees pinstripe jersey of your choice, 4 tickets to a Yankees game, plus some NYY Recaps merch. It takes 1 click and it's free. So if you watch every video, double check that you are subscribed. If you love the podcast, subscribe. Heck, even if you hate the podcast, hate me, hate the Yankees, hate my cat, who cares? Subscribe anyway so somebody can win these prizes. And we'll see you next time.
Ball game over.